Hello, everyone. So we continue with the safety and environmental impact with Mr. Belhir's. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Lina. Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for being here for this important session. And I hope at the end we'll be able to respond to your expectations. I will start by introducing my colleagues, my partners. I will start by Madam or Mrs. Nesma Jondi. She's senior expert in sustainable development at Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection, and Mrs. Lalami. She's manager ESG and climate at PwC Morocco. As you know, the session will be around the benefits and the risks of hydrogen. And I will start by why do we need hydrogen first? Why do we need to develop the hydrogen economy, not only in Morocco, but worldwide? Today, there are two objectives. The first objective was developed in the COP announcement. And the second one by the World Energy Outlook, Transition Outlook, towards the 1.5 degrees that is known under WE2 1.5 degrees. Under those two objectives, or the most aggressive one is the WE2, under which we need to decrease our emissions by 36.9 gigaton of CO2. And the contribution of each party from the renewables and other topics are as follows. 25% will come from renewables, which means the reduction of the 36.9 gigaton of CO2. The contribution of renewables is 25%, and the integration of renewables in the grids needs hydrogen. 25% will come from energy efficiency, and the electrification 20%, hydrogen 10%, fossil fuel CCS or carbon capture 6%, and then renewable-based removal of CO2 and bioenergy 14%. What this means in terms of investment? In terms of investments, the electricity generation would need to expand threefold by 2050. Compared to 2020 levels, with the renewables providing 90% of the energy mix. Two, the share of renewable energy in total final energy consumption would increase from 19% in 2019 to 79% in 2050. Three, average annual investment for energy intensity, which means the energy efficiency, should scale 6 times by 2050 compared to what we have today. The share of direct electricity in total final energy consumption must go from 21% in 2019 to 50% by 2050. 5, the production of clean hydrogen needs to go from nothing today, almost nothing, to 614 million tons by 2050. You can imagine what it means, 614 million tons of green hydrogen from 2030 to 2050, in 20 years. And total CO2 captured from CCS and bioenergy should be something like 8.5 gigaton by 2050 compared to what we have today. Those are big investments that will come, of course, this package will come with a lot of environmental impacts, and it will come also with a lot of risks, and it will come with a lot of benefits. So now I will give the ground to my colleagues, and I will start by Madame Jondi Nesma. And the first question of course, like any development, like any projects, hydrogen need to consider the fundamental principles of social and environmental justice. And now that you have a lot of experience and you can share a lot of impacts with the audience, And the question, Madam Jondi, is what is the prospective social justice and how it can be met when talking about the green hydrogen projects from development to decommissioning?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Harish, for the question, and thank you also to the organizers for the invitation and for associating the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection. First of all, I would like to add my voice in respect to all the victims of the earthquake. And it is in times like this that we see even more the importance of social justice in all our public policies and all our energy transition projects. So when we talk about the sustainability of energy transition, we have to ensure that the benefits and opportunities generated by these projects are distributed fairly and equitably among the local communities and populations. First of all, the first question that we need to think about is the job creation. Are we going to create enough jobs for the populations and economic development? And this is something that I'm sure we all have in mind, because some of the past projects, unfortunately, couldn't create enough economic integration in the region. So this is something that I know public policies are very careful about. The second aspect is the income distribution. We have to make sure that all the benefits also benefit to the local populations. And I know this is very important also to allocate a part of the incomes to the benefit of the local populations. Then think about access to energy. In all the new energy and renewable energy projects, are the local communities, do they have access to this new kind of clean energy? And also not only the population, but also the industries in the area. And then I will also focus on community engagement. It's very important that all the communities are associated in the decision making, because we're talking about their land, their environment, their natural resources. When talking about water, for example, this is something that we have to keep in mind, and to have a consultative process to gather input and also listen to the concerns and the needs of the local populations. Environmental protection and health. I know my colleague will address all the environmental impacts, but this is also something that we need environmental impact assessments. And then education and training. That's something very important. At the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection, our main mission is to ensure education and to raise awareness on the environment and sustainable development. But we have to keep that in mind even further. And yesterday, when IRESEN and the OFPTT signed the agreement, it was a good sign that we take those questions into consideration to train and give adequate training to our technicians, engineers, and the local populations to engage also in this transition, because it's good to bring knowledge, technology from abroad, but it's even more important to ensure that our local population is, more educated, more trained, and also that their trainings meet the needs of the markets. Also include diversities in the projects. The ones who know me know that I am very, let's say, I give a very important aspect on gender diversity. It's very, very important to consider also the gender equality and social inclusions in all the projects. And last but not least, the monitoring and evaluation. This is something very important and sometimes we don't do on a regular basis. To have consistent monitoring systems, engage with local communities for feedback, and conduct regular assessments to make sure that all our projects are aligned with the objectives and the needs of the local populations, that we shouldn't keep aside on all renewable energy transition projects.
Thank you very much, Madam Jorandi. Now the second question to Madam Suad Alami. Mrs. Alami, any project has an impact or many impacts on the environmental. Some are positives or opportunities, and some are negative that need to be mitigated. Considering the huge investment that we talked about in the introduction in terms of new renewable energies, carbon capture, energy efficiency, and on all this package, what do you think will be the negative impacts of those projects, especially on the environment worldwide? Thank you.
Thank you. So first, I would like to join my voice to my colleagues to express our and communicate our prayers to all the victims of the earthquake. I'm from Marrakesh, so it's very important for me and very happy otherwise to be here. Thank you for the organizers for the invitation. So if I have to answer to your question, of course, we cannot talk hydrogen without thinking about water. Hydrogen projects consume a lot of water, and in countries and in regions like ours, where water scarcity is a very big issue, it's important to include this dimension whenever we are developing projects, green hydrogen project. And though desalination can be a response to this issue, we need to keep in mind that desalination also generates a brine stream of brine that can be very negative for the soil or water. So it really needs to be handled properly. And it's very important to have the regulation to make sure that the water that is used is not from our ground. It's not conventional water, in order not to have trade-offs. As you know, water is essential for agriculture, for drinking, etc. So these projects have not to put under pressure the natural resources. The second important topic when we talk about environmental impact is, of course, waste. First, waste generated by electrolyzers. Electrolyzers uses hazardous chemicals that can have very negative impact on the environment and can be extremely harmful. So if not handled correctly. Second, wastewater management, of course, as water generated can generate, electrolytes can generate wastewater with residual electrolytes and reaction by products. So it really needs to be also managed in a proper way in order not to be just discharged in the environment. Third point about waste is what happens when the projects ends. When we talk green hydrogen projects, we have not only the catalyzers, but also all the power plant that goes with it. So we really need to create an economy within our industrials that can recycle all those materials. And this is also an opportunity, as you said, Harishi, it's important to seize all the opportunities that comes with those kinds of projects. two other main areas, I would say. First, land use. When we talk hydrogen, when we talk about hydrogen projects, especially green ones, we need large amount of land, large parcels. And in parts of the country or parts in Africa in general, where land is under pressure because it's for agriculture, industrial uses, etc., it's really important to keep in mind that there are trade-offs that needs to be taken. It's important, as you said, to take into account the population, their needs, the usage of the land, how they use it, and not to put this resource under pressure. We are actually, as PwC, working with the Ministry of Energy and Sustainable Development on the national strategy, and this thematic of trade-offs and the pressure that is already under water and land, and how to deal with those trade-offs is really important and central for the national strategy. Finally, of course, occupational health and safety. As you know, hydrogen is a highly inflammable gas. So we need to handle it correctly, not only during the production phase, but also during transport and during storage. I would sum up by saying that, of course, every project has its negative impacts, but if mitigated, if handled correctly, the projects, the green hydrogen projects have infinite benefits, both for the economy, for the social side, but also for the environment.
Thank you very much, Madam Lalemi, for those great insights. Last year in World Port Week session, I participated to one of the plenary sessions, and the session was around the competitivity of the Moroccan offer, and we could show or demonstrate that Morocco can be ranked one of the five most competitive countries or exporter countries of the hydrogen. So we need to be prepared, and we expect to live this boom, or what we call the boom, or the huge investment in hydrogen. I will come back to Madame Jorandi about the social justice that needs to be met while developing those projects. And I think that all the stakeholders should take their responsibilities when it comes to developing or building such projects. We'll start by the policymakers. Governments should tackle the problem of capacity building. The ecosystem also should be ready to play an active role in the construction, because we need to develop green hydrogen projects. We cannot give the construction to people coming from other countries. We need to develop our own capabilities. The local communities also need to be prepared and need to be ready to be trained and to develop their capacities to take active parts on those projects. So, Madam Jorandi, what are your recommendations regarding the capacity building aspects to meet the target justice?
Thank you. So capacity building is indeed a critical aspect of achieving social justice, and we have to ensure that all stakeholders can effectively participate and benefit from these projects, including, as you mentioned, government authorities, all the private sector ecosystem, and the local communities, to make sure that they are involved in the different development stages, and that they understand the different challenges as well as the opportunities. So first of all, let's talk about the government and the policymakers, because they have a very important role to play, because they have to create and implement the policies that outline clear guidelines and regulations for green hydrogen projects, emphasizing the social justice and community engagement in the frameworks. So this should allocate resources to support capacity building initiatives and including training programs and technical assistance for local community and project developers. As I mentioned, establish regulatory frameworks to enforce and ensure the compliance with social and environmental standards. Then from the perspective of the project developers, we could also develop and collaborate with local universities. And I know that OCP Group, for example, and UMCSP are really partnering in this regard to design and offer relevant courses and training programs in fields related to green hydrogen. OCP Group has shown the way, but I know that other universities also are really engaged in this capacity building offer for the young students. Provide technical training. I mentioned the work with the OFPPT, foster innovation through encourage local businesses and entrepreneurs to participate in the supply chain of green hydrogen projects. Also, lots of incubators and startups are engaged in that kind of projects. Also, the knowledge transfer. I know that no one will give you its technology for free, just like this, but it's very important to share knowledge because promote knowledge transfer from international expertise to local talent is very important, and this is the only way we can have sustainable projects. Regarding local communities, as I mentioned before, education and awareness is also very important. I mentioned that the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection and the Hassan II International Center for Environmental Training are engaged in different educational programs since kindergarten until universities. It's a life learning journey with very different educational programs to raise awareness about the benefits and the risk associated in this kind of projects. And then, as I mentioned also earlier, the importance of monitoring for the different stakeholders, and also transparency and accountability. We should provide regular reports on the progress of the capacity building efforts, also for the foreign investors who would like to invest in our country, to know that we have a qualified workforce that's available, and this will, like, secure them in their projects and investments. So as a conclusion, I would say that we are now in a very important turning point if we want to make those projects sustainable in the wide sense of sustainability, like ensuring economic, social, and environmental progress. We have to contribute to the capacity building of our skilled population, also fostering economic development and promoting inclusive and equitable participation in all those green energy projects.
Thank you very much, Madam Jrondi. And before giving the floor to Madam Lalemi for the opportunities or how we can handle or take profit from those huge opportunities that will come with the package, I will just share with the audience several figures. For green or for hydrogen in general to be qualified as low carbon hydrogen, its associated emissions should be lower than 131 grams CO2 per kilowatt hour. Today, the hydrogen coming from SMR is 398 compared to 131. The blue hydrogen ranges from 93 to 2018. And if you take the energy mix today of the German grid, the associated emissions would be 691, which means something like 4 times or 5 times more than what is expected to be certified as low carbon hydrogen. So you can imagine the emissions that will be avoided when you shift from gray hydrogen to green hydrogen. So, Madame Lalami, would you please share with the audience how do you see all those opportunities related to the environment and also the health of the populations that will come with this huge development of green hydrogen worldwide?
Thank you. So, of course, green fuels and green hydrogen is really the missing link to decarbonize the economy. It's a great opportunity for us to have also a great impact. Sorry. So I would say that the main benefits for both health is, of course, the greenhouse gases emission that are reduced. This leads to direct impact on the health of communities. But this also comes, as I said earlier, with important economical opportunities for our small and medium-sized companies. I think there was a question earlier about how can small and medium-sized companies benefit from this huge opportunity that represented in hydrogen project and green hydrogen projects. It's important to create an environment in the country to enable those projects. And one of the main things missing is filière de recyclage, recycling companies in order to give a second life to those projects, to this waste, to aluminium, glass, etc., coming from PV panels, or to also have a local production of those components, but also companies that are able to manage the hazardous waste that can be produced from those power plants, those hydrogen plants. So to sum up, I would say that projects like those that are being developed in Morocco are a really great opportunity for both people, of course, a huge potential of job creation, but also for the economy and for the environment and health of the communities. Thanks.
Can I just add one quick point?
Of course, madam. Thank you.
We are at the beginning of this transformation, of this transition. So this is the time where we have to build those projects, taking into account the social justice, the environmental impacts at the starting, at the beginning, so that we don't miss out on these huge opportunities on a sustainable way. Since we are still at the beginning, it's, I would like really to emphasize and, also congratulate the organizers of raising such an important topic, because we have to bear in mind all those impacts in the framework of those development projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madame Jondi. I think that we still have a few minutes and we can give the floor to the audience if they have some questions. Just before that, I would like also to raise a point to the audience regarding the hydrogen leaks and the ammonia leaks. The hydrogen is a greenhouse gas, and it's 11 times more potent than the CO2. And the ammonia, in case of ammonia leaks, it can create the N2O. that is nitrous oxide, and N2O is 273 times more potent than CO2, which means that if you transport a certain quantity of ammonia and you have only 0.4% of leakage, this means that you eliminate all the positive impacts of this ammonia in terms of CO2 emissions. Thank you very much, and the floor is yours if you have any questions to our partners and panelists.
Thank you very much, and congratulations. I'm joining also my voice to those of the panelists to present my condolences to the Moroccan people. I'm from Mauritania, and as you know, we're developing large projects in hydrogen, green hydrogen. And I'm very happy to hear what you were saying. We are just beginning this process. And it is now that we have to fix everything to make sure that it benefits not only to the country, but to the people. So I'll have one or two combined questions to both of you. One is on capacity building. In our countries, we have a lack of skills, lack of capacity, not only in terms of training, but also in terms of number. And when we did the social and economic impact of this project, I mean, the demand for job is just unbelievable. So what do you think in terms of impact that part of this job will certainly come from abroad, and the benefit, salary and benefits also will be re-exported? So that can be one tricky part. The second one on the environment, on desalination. It's true that there is impact when you desalinate seawater, but I think that the quantity of fresh water that you can have can outpass really the negative impact of desalination. And in a country like Mauritania, in the northern part, we are thinking of not only doing that, but to use the water for agriculture, but put part of it in grid. On the third, and I'm stopping there, to have local companies benefit. It's true they have to be brought to standard, but in countries like mine, we are thinking also of voting a local content law. It's not to force companies to employ or to use local industries, but at least to make sure that they will look at them first before they look elsewhere. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. So I will answer the part of the job creation. We know that we have a difficult situation in developing countries in all the African continent regarding job opportunities and markets. That's why it's important to engage in capacity building and training. And I know that the government, also all different public policies are giving high importance to this matter by encouraging trainings and educational programs to make sure that the students are qualified regarding the needs of the market. So I mentioned before the incredible work that is being done by UM6P. They are not the only ones. I know many other universities who are really engaged in the training adequate profile to meet the needs of this energy transition. Les IFMERI, Institut de formation en énergie renouvelable et efficacité énergétique, I think there are three. Two are already operating, I think, and the third one is under construction. But the thing is, the laureates of those institutions find it difficult to find a job because they are in advance and the projects are not ready yet. So we still have like 4 to 5 years time to really have enough job opportunities for those who are qualified in these jobs. But the reflection is important. And as I mentioned, we are at an early stage regarding hydrogen, at least, even though we have now the experience of solar and wind. So yes, we are all aware that capacity building is important, and all stakeholders have a role to play. The public policies, but also the civil society. Civil society has an important role in raising awareness, in encouraging young people to go to these jobs, more education in STEAM fields, more education in technical also fields. So yeah, this is something that we all have in mind, and trying to develop adequate trainings to the market needs is something that we have to tackle all together. It's not only a matter of public policies, but also different stakeholders, even the private sectors, in associating with universities and private schools have to keep in mind to help this energy transition.
Thank you. So if I can just add on what Nesma said, of course, maybe in the first period, we will need international expertise, but it's important to ensure some capacity building and some technology transfer, I would say. By working with local people and by obliging these international companies to recruit and to train local people, you ensure some capacity building of those people, and you ensure that those people will take the lead in the future. And this happened around the world with solar energy, for example. And now we have countries that really are way advanced because they ensured this link and this transformation within the local population. Concerning the second question on desalination plants, of course, the benefits, especially when we talk about water, are way more important than the negative side of it. But we just need to keep in mind that there is a negative side, because though today we are answering an issue, the objective is not to create another one in the future, because by letting off this stream of brine, we can impact our oceans and the biodiversity in our ocean. Maybe not now, because we are answering, as I said, this needs, but we really need to keep in mind that there is things we need to develop, also research and development, to maybe reduce the impact of desalination plants on the long term. I think those was the two questions.
Thank you very much, Madam Jondi and Madam Lalami. We want to take more questions, but we have a very limited amount of time. Myself and my partners, we are open to discuss whenever you want, but outside this session. So thank you very much. And again, our prayers go to all the victims of this earthquake, and also special thanks to all those who participated to the rescue and those who will participate to the reconstruction. Inshallah. Thank you very much.